Hi parents, welcome to BLW Store. In this video, we're going to compare two HiPP formulas again. This time is HiPP Comfort and HiPP Hypoallergenic, or HA. So if you're here, I'm going to assume that you have tried different formulas in the past, they didn't work, and you've found that HiPP is one of the best brands when it comes to digestive needs. And you've read that HiPP Comfort is one option, and then the HA or hypoallergenic is another option, but you're not sure which one to choose. Now it may seem pretty simple because hypoallergenic is just basically okay. So if your baby has allergies, great. But if you're new to this, you're new to formulas, you need to understand the different types of ingredients, why one is called comfort, why one is called hypoallergenic. And based on that, the goal of this video is to help you, carve the path for you to be able to choose one or the other. Okay. Of course, the first thing, if you haven't gone to the doctor or the pediatrician, we always recommend that you do, right? Even though sometimes pediatricians have, because we've had that experience where you go to the pediatrician and they have, the typical list of standard or most famous formulas in the market, and they go through the list and they tell you, okay, try this one. If this one doesn't work, go with this one, this one, this one. But we're trying to educate here and make you understand why you should choose one or the other, depending on several things, right? So getting into that, I don't want this video to be very long. You're gonna be seeing my camera, switching off sometimes. I'm sorry, I'm not a technical expert, but I've got 4 tabs open here. From Organics Best. This is the store that we usually recommend if you don't find, or if you can't find organic formulas or organic European formulas in your local store. This is the one that we recommend. So what we're going to be looking at, the ingredients. So before that, I've opened here just in case. I'm gonna talk about this for a minute because many parents have this doubt, and it's confusing for them because there are 7 different stages on European formulas. So there is stage pre in this case from hypoallergenic. Comfort doesn't have any of these stages. Okay, it just says 0+ months, and there you go. But some formulas have, for example, stage pre is 0+, stage 1 is 0 to 6, and then stage 2 is 6 to 12. If you look at the ingredients list, they are completely the same. Okay, they don't change. The only thing that changes between these 3 or 4 or 5 stages, whatever, how many they are, is the amount of minerals and vitamins. However, the one that is the most important one is iron. Okay, so what happens is that at 6 months, babies run out of, let's say, natural iron deposits, and they need to increase their iron intake by starting solids, which is obviously the good option. So at 6 months, your baby should be starting some type of solids. We recommend baby-led weaning. But formulas stage 2, 3, and 4, what they do is that they increase some vitamins and minerals, but they increase a lot iron, the iron content. But if your baby is already, eating solids at 6 months, you don't have to change to stage 2 if you want to continue with formula. So if you continue with formula at 6 months, you can perfectly, without a problem, give your baby stage 1 and then start with solids. Start with a routine of solids, a method. We, again, recommend baby weaning, but it can be purees or whatever, and continue with stage 1, okay? Having said that, in your case, if your baby is between 0 and 6 months, you can either choose pre or stage 1. It doesn't really matter. The only difference is that stage 1 has a little bit more, a bit more iron, a bit more vitamins, a bit more minerals. But again, the difference is so small that it's honestly not going to make any difference. Okay, so if you find stage 1, great. If you can't, then go with stage pre, and you're going to be just fine. Then we're going to take a look at the difference in ingredients between comfort and hypoallergenic. So we're going to scroll down here to ingredients. And we need to understand a couple of things, okay? So the first ingredient that we find in HiPP Comforts is lactose. This is a good sign. We always want lactose to be the first ingredient, unless your baby is lactose intolerant. If your baby is lactose intolerant, you can't choose comfort or hypoallergenic. And how do you know that it's lactose intolerant? If you have tried several formulas with different ingredients and all of them had lactose and your baby still has problems, it's probably a lactose intolerant issue. But your doctor will be able to filter that out for you. But this one has lactose, but it also has maltodextrin, as we can see here, and it also has starch. Now, maltodextrin and starch are two substitutes of lactose. So what happens with this formula is that it still uses lactose, but a reduced amount to cater for those babies that have lactose sensitivity. Okay, because a baby can have lactose sensitivity. It doesn't have to be intolerance. And if you reduce the amount of lactose and you add something like maltodextrin or starch or something like that, it'll be just fine. Okay, so that is the first thing that Comfort, takes care of. Babies with small lactose sensitivities, okay, or mild lactose sensitivities, let's say. Now, maltodextrin is plant-based, is usually extracted from corn, and it's a carbohydrate. Is organic in the case of HiPP. So if you are going to find a formula that doesn't have lactose because your baby is lactose intolerant or lactose sensitive, so either is reduced lactose or no lactose, you want the alternative of lactose to be maltodextrin. If it's organic maltodextrin, much better. Okay, because many formulas in the United States, they use corn syrup, and corn syrup solids, and corn syrup solids are basically are higher in sugar, more sweet, and you will end up with your baby having maybe some other type of problems. Of course, many people or many babies have grown perfectly healthy by drinking formula with corn syrup. Yes, okay, that's a fact. But I'm just saying that there are other better alternatives. That's it. Okay. Now, vegetable oils. You always find these three oils in HiPP. I'm not going to get into them. Many parents are scared of palm oil. You shouldn't be, because palm oil. Not talking about ecological, factors. This is organic, so those are included. But nutritionally speaking, palm oil and coconut oil are the two best oils for formulas. Nutritionally speaking, okay. Because they are not seed oils, they are fruits, and palm and coconut are fruits, and the oils and the fat structure from fruits is saturated, and yes, saturated fat is better than monosaturated in 99% of cases, and in a balanced diet, let's say. So much better than seed oils. Okay, then rapeseed and sunflower oil are seed oils, but they are the two most used oils, and they are okay. And then we have another important ingredient here that is hydrolyzed whey protein. So these two things, the fact that this formula has maltodextrin, which caters for lactose sensitivity issues, hydrolyzed whey protein is basically, so what they do is they take the milk, the protein from cow's milk, and they break it down in a process called hydrolysis, and that is easier to digest for babies who have problems digesting the protein from cow's milk, whether it is a digestive issue or allergies or possible mild allergies. So this formula again caters for those babies who have lactose sensitivity issues and babies with small problems when digesting the protein of cow's milk. That's it. The rest of the ingredients are going to be exactly the same as HiPP Hypoallergenic. Let's go now. For the purposes of this video, I'm going to close, pre and stage 2, and I'm going to go to stage 1. Let's go to the ingredients. And in here we see lactose, first ingredient, great. And then we don't see maltodextrin or starch. So this means that this formula will not work for babies who have lactose sensitivities or lactose intolerant issues. So already eliminated if that's the case. Same vegetable oils. And then this one has something called whey protein hydrolyzed. This is basically the same as whey protein, the same as before as HiPP Comfort, but the only difference here is that HiPP HA has extensively hydrolyzed protein, and HiPP Comfort is partially hydrolyzed protein. So the only difference here is that if it's extensively hydrolyzed, this formula is meant for those babies who have no problems with lactose, but they have plenty of problems with the protein from cow's milk. HiPP Comforts is for babies who have lactose sensitivities and some maybe mild problems with cow's milk. So let's say that Comfort is like a more generalistic formula for different digestive needs that can happen to babies, or that babies can have, sorry. And HA is only for those who have problems with the protein from cow's milk. That's the difference. Okay? Sorry for the length of this video. So if you have to make a choice and you don't know which one to choose, we would recommend, if you take into account that you have already tried different formulas and they didn't work, and let's say different formulas with lactose or other organic formulas that are not specifically designed for babies with needs, then we will recommend starting with HiPP Comforts before starting with hypoallergenic. If HiPP Comfort doesn't work, that can mean one of two things. Either your baby has more problems with lactose that HiPP Comforts can, tackle, which means that you would need to go with a formula that is for lactose intolerant babies. Although that's pretty strange. And if this doesn't work, another option could be that your baby needs more hydrolyzed formula, so it needs the protein, more broken in order to be able to digest it. So in this case, go with hypoallergenic. I know there is no a solution that fits every situation, but the formula world is that way. It's trying and see, trial and error, and see which one agrees better with your baby. That's it. Sorry for the 30 minutes. If you have any questions, please leave a comment below or visit our website. Contact us to alberto@blwstore.com, and we'll be happy to solve any possible doubts that you have or offer any recommendations. Okay. See you in the next one. Bye bye.